What's poppin', guys? Sean Don is back with a technical analysis of myself to teach you guys a thing or two. This throw was from good old, what was it? Was past weekend. Early season opener at Cal State Fullerton, and I threw 76-28, 250 feet 3 inches. One of my best throws of my life, and it did not feel very good. Some context behind this throw. 2 weeks after USA Champs, 2 weeks full of lots of drills and easy throws with the 16 to try to get the feeling for the hammer back. And I think I did that, but then meet prep for the meet itself, like the day of meet preparation, I was rushed. I did not get to warm up nearly as much as I'd like to. Poor executional skills, I guess, on my own part. We decided to go get coffee after we checked in rather than stay there and just start warming up. So didn't really get to warm up. Had terrible feeling for the hammer because I took way too much caffeine, 300 milligrams after only drinking green tea for 2 weeks, and yeah, it's not very good. So that's kind of what's behind this throw. I think on the day I could have thrown further, but still happy with it. Got the world standard, and can't be mad with a meet over 76 meters. Hopefully that'll be my my meet average this year between all competitions. Who knows? We'll see. Overall, the throw itself, like I said, did not feel too good. I knew it had the release velocity at the end of the throw, but in terms of fluidity and tension, it was not all there. And just looking at the throw, like overall, it's decent, but there's definitely some things that were not ideal. So let's break it down. So first wind, decent job loading left side. Little step back, decent job staying over left side. At least back over the left side. Yeah, I shift over to the right, but I turn my shoulders back a good bit. And then as the ball comes back around to 270, you can see me kind of setting up this left side axis, shoulder, hip, knee, ankle. On the step up, you can see me trying to throw my hip into the ball to accelerate it as it goes left. This was the one throw that I really focused on trying to get the ball left over here on the winds. I did not do my other throws, and because of that, I was a little bit heavy on this right side and a little bit more straight-legged on this left leg than I was in my other throws. Oh, and fun fact, my series was not that great either. I had like a 75-meter foul to start, 73 mid, 76 foul, 73.95. So not the best. Like I said, I think that's reflective of, like I said, my poor meet preparation and way too much caffeine before. 300 milligrams of caffeine from a Bang Energy was too much. So, like I said, the focus was trying to get the ball really left on the winds. And I think this is not ideal in my opinion. As you can see, I'm very extended backwards. My hips are forwards, which is good, but this lean backwards is not very good for connection. I'd rather stay more upright, torso perfectly straight up and down, not leaning back. So if any of my clients out there are watching this and I say don't lean back in the winds, this is what I mean. Don't lean backwards, stay upright, and hold your position. But that being said, you can still see I'm trying to stay back over here on this left. I'd say weight's probably 50-50 right now, maybe a little bit more on the right side. But then you can also see I let the ball get super left, and then I also turn back my shoulders, and you can see I'm kind of starting to connect with the ball all the way back here towards 180, and then as it comes through 270, tough angle here because you can't see the ball, but you can see my hands. You can see I'm starting to lean back a little bit, heads back against the ball, getting a little pendulum in. My right arm's trying to extend, so as the ball comes to 270, I'm trying to extend. It does not actually, but then you can see I connect right about there, somewhere in here. Both arms finally extend. Overall, though, as the ball comes through zero, left side's nice and lined up. You can see my right side is not really turning, and it's not even doing a great job working. I think that's why I get a little shift back here. The big adjustment I made between my opening throw and my second throw was my posture. I focused on just being way more upright, having my hips underneath me, and here you can still see I wasn't quite comfortable with the ring. It was a tad fast relative to what I'm used to training on here in Chula Vista, so I wasn't quite feeling strong with this right foot. Couldn't quite work it as much as I wanted to hold his left side to really get the ball out to the left. But that's kind of what the winds were for, to get that ball left in the winds to really set it up um, as it comes back through on the entry. But so as you can see, I do shift back, which I'm also starting to not think of is as big a deal on this toe turn. The right leg is a little bit behind, left side's a little bit ahead. As you can see, head's ahead, left knee's ahead, just a slight bit. Like I said, the things that I talk about in these videos, obviously I'm trying to do them, and I'm not perfect, but you know, obviously you just need to keep striving for better, no matter how good your throw is or how far your throw is. Ball comes left. Like I said, good bit of shift back in this left hip. Like I said, not as big a deal as I used to think it is. A little extension here in this left ankle. That's one thing that I'm not a fan of. This left ankle kind of extends a little bit, and that's what kind of shifts me back onto this left side a little bit, as you'll see later in the throw. Hips forward, so this is posture that I'm talking about. Hips forwards, posterior pelvic tilt, torso in a straight line, arms protracted as far forward as possible. This is, I think, one thing that most people don't get is this posture and the super relaxed shoulders. They usually don't have that. Knees in decent position, could be a little bit more out over this toe. I got to sneeze. Boom, there we go. All right, that only took like 5 seconds. Sorry for the delay, but yeah, so like I said, could get a little bit more out over this left side. And that little extension right there, not a fan of that. Nice shoulders, just still sloped as far forward as possible. Hip, right hip kind of driving towards the ball. And then first catch, posture's not great, but it's not bad. A little tilt, hips a little bit back. Ideally, I'd want my hips a little bit more over there. Left knee would be a little bit closer towards the ground, I think. But overall, as you can see, I catch probably just before 270, 265, 250 even, I don't know. And then as the ball comes through zero, I've gotten much better with turning my lower body with the ball. As you can see, as the ball comes through zero, it's right over that right femur. It's turning in conjunction with the ball. But you can see it's very subtle, it's very minute. This left side obviously is still a little bit overactive from that first turn. You're going to see this left shoulder dip back a little bit. Left shoulder dips back rather than kind of holding and sending the right side, using that right side to send the ball around this left side. That left shoulder just dips back a slight bit. You can see right there as it goes down. And that's my left side kind of taking over. And because of that, so this left side, as you can see, I get my heel down pretty early. That's always good. The earlier your heel gets down, the more I would say you can't really accelerate the ball until the heel gets down. And that's exactly what you see right here. Heel gets down. So what should happen is this holds, everything holds right there, and this right side works, and the ball is sent around that left side. But as you can see, like I said, this just shifts back a little bit. Arms coming across the chest rather than leaving just a little bit of space. But I like this right leg. It's turning. I'm staying down for the most part, but it's very subtle once again. The left shoulder pulls, and then I stand up just a hair, literally maybe 2 inches. And that's what kind of throws me off for the rest of the throw. So I stand up and straighten out a little bit. That left shoulder pulls just a bit. I still drive the ball around the left side pretty well, but not as good as it could have been. Hips forwards towards the ball, shoulders back just slightly. Working on that pendulum as the ball comes through zero. Solid position here. Once again, knee could be a little bit more out over this mid foot, out over the toes a little bit more. Hips could be a little bit more forward. Shoulders could be a little bit more forwards. One thing I've been trying to work on lately as well is not pulling my head or using my head to counter as much, at least in the earlier turns. I think if I throw this head back super early in the second turn, then it causes that left side to go, and I end up being heavy on this right side and fall off the finish a lot. So not a terrible job here with that, but definitely have more work to do with that whole thing. Right side, once again, right hip driving towards the ball, driving towards 180, stepping towards the sector. Ball brings me around naturally, but as you can see, so I stood up just slightly here, just slightly. You can see my hip height just come up a little bit. So catch here, and then you see my hip rise up just a little bit, which is a good thing. That's part of the pendulum. That's part about working against the ball, but I think I did it just a little bit too much, especially right here. All right, instead of staying down and in and working around that left side, I extend up and back and away from the ball just a little bit more. Partly because of the left shoulder, partly because of the leg, who knows? Chicken or the egg, it's hard to tell. Because of that, this left or right foot is kind of lazy coming off the ground. I mean, yeah, I work nice and long. Foot comes off the ground just about 90, but I also, like I said, I'm shifting back onto this right side a little bit too much. Dorsiflexed, or plantar flexed is not the right thing. It should be more dorsiflexed if I was truly working it the way I should. But with that left side taking over, the right side kind of comes off lazily. And because of that, I catch a little bit later. So just at 270 instead of a little bit before, like I said, 250-ish on the previous turn. A little bit higher. Once again, left knee could drop a little bit more towards the ground. Left knee could be a little bit more closed. But posture is still pretty solid here. Hips under, shoulders nice slope forwards, back, maybe a slight counterclockwise tilt, but not much. And then once again, left heel gets down, decent, 15 degrees before zero. And left side still real strong. A little bit too strong, in my opinion. Once again, bicep going across the chest rather than as the ball comes through this point right here. Well, it would be right in between these two frames. Or as it comes to zero, I want everything to be squared up, but as you can see, I'm just a little bit ahead. Not my best technical throw, like I said already. Right leg still doing a good job working with the ball, but then you can see that same thing. Heel comes down, and then as ball goes left, you see me extend back and away from the ball. Hips forward, I like this, but once again, I think shoulders are back just a little bit too much, or not even that. I think my left knee could be a little bit more bent. And once again, kind of out over the midfoot, forefoot, just a little bit more, and that would set me up better on my left side. Relatively long, double support-ish. Actually, no, not really, not very long. 45 degrees past zero, right foot comes up, but that's because the left side is just pulling too much. But I let the ball go nice and long left once again. Shoulders relaxed, hip drives towards the ball. I sink down just a little bit, catch. This is getting back to what I'm talking about earlier, 260-ish, 250-ish instead of 270. Better position here, hips under, nice and balanced. Finally catching a little deeper. Like I said, because I just catch a little bit late right here on this turn, I lose connection a little bit, so the left side has to go more. But I get back, find some things, and at this point I just remember, all right, just let it rip. And as you can see, I don't even get my heel down very early. You can see the mad bicep fucking, oh, excuse my French. My biceps working the shit out of the hammer, rarely seen. But that's what happens when you're just sending it in competition. I mean, my arms are about as relaxed as they could get. I remember, like you know the feeling when you're fully relaxed. But just because I catch a little bit late, I got to use a little bit more left side, so that biceps bulging just a little bit more because it is coming across my chest. Otherwise, right leg is doing a really nice job working with the ball, working up against it. But then still that same thing. That left heel comes down late, so that left side shifts back more. Left side's already in control. Standing up a little bit more, as you can see, left leg is almost straight. Right leg is almost better than the previous turn. This third double support is something I've really been working on over the past, 2-3 months, trying to get that long penultimate double support, because that's what I think is going to make the difference for me to go from 76, 77 to 79 or 80. So slowly getting there, but still just right from the start I kind of sabotage myself by not letting the ball pass enough in the entry and standing up a little bit in the second turn and then catching a little late on the second catch. But as you can see, still relatively decent lower body movement, nice and long. You can definitely see how much tension I have going through this left side with how far back against it. And I don't know, in this picture all I see is left side tension. But the ball already has that impulse. It's going towards the sector. Not a bad position right here, a little slight leftward lean, but the ball stretches out towards the sector pretty good. Right hip drives towards it again. I come down and catch relatively early, probably just about the same as the previous turn, but posture is really good. slightly a little too heavy on that right side, just a little bit. But that's what happens when you pull the left side, like I said in all my videos. Um, and then as I come through, you see me really getting my hips forwards towards the ball, shoulders leaning back against it. Yeah, slightly ahead of it. Left side doing too much. You can see this left leg, it's going to extend and come forward because it is doing too much, or doing more than the right leg at least. But I'm getting super long back against it. I never thought I had biceps until I saw this video, and now I realize that I need to do less, even though I already don't really do any. But otherwise, as you can see, really, really long back against the ball. Like I said, generally not a fan of this head pulling so much, but hips are forwards, and that's what matters. And for the most part, yeah, I'm a little bit heavy on this right leg, but I still come through pretty well, and I barely saved this bastard. Like I said, it was kind of all over the place. Too much caffeine. Left foot comes forward, catches the inside of the ring just barely, and I find that balance and replace my feet. And oh, it was a scary moment for a second because I knew I smacked it, but did not feel exactly confident in my technique, as you can see with the low effort fist pump. So yeah, that's a little breakdown on my throw and what was going through my mind through the throw. Like I said, I really just got to do a better job of staying down on this left leg. But even before that, I got to do a better job of loading this left side, working this ball around the right side, using the right side to work the ball around the left side, sorry. And then, yeah, just being more patient for the ball in the entry. As you can see, like I said, so this bit right here makes all the difference. My head's just going ahead a little bit, but that's what happens when I go high intensity. I'm still working on it, but the ball does a decent job of catching up. If I just let the ball pass, so let's say if I stayed right here and I let the ball pass to right there, but I was still in that head position square to the ball, that would make all the difference between this 76-meter throw and a potentially 78, 79-meter throw. Very subtle, minute things that happen in the throw at this level that make all the difference. And I think if I did that, I would have caught better on this first turn. I would have stayed down a little bit better. I would have held this left side a little bit better, and then wouldn't have been pulling that left side so much. Would have been able to feel that right side really dig in and get to work. But as you can still see, I do a decent job of salvaging what I can with this right leg, right hip, right side in the final two turns. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Hopefully that helped you guys out. If you guys have any questions, drop them down in the comments below. I'm here to help. And yeah, excited to see what the rest of this season has in store for me. If you guys have any critiques, go ahead and shoot them my way, because I love hearing your guys' opinions on things, and I would appreciate it. So, thanks for watching. Sean Don, peace and out.